Hello everyone. Today the materials that you will need are a sheet of notebook paper, or actually, you know what, you don't need a sheet of notebook paper. Just have this paper that's your homework sheet that says review, identifying the correct forms of sit and set, rise and raise, lie and lay, and we can do our diagramming on the back of that. So you need this sheet of paper and your notes on troublesome verbs. Okay, so let's start by, you can just turn over your rise, raise, sit, set worksheet, turn it over to the back side, and we'll just use that for our sentence diagramming. So let's look at the sentence. Please give her the phone. Please give her the phone. I want you to pause the video and diagram that sentence. Okay, now let's diagram this sentence. Please give her the phone. So the first thing that you should have done was identify any prepositional phrase. There are no prepositional phrases in this sentence. So then you want to find your simple subject and simple predicate. Let's find the predicate first by finding the verb. I see give, and give is an action verb. Now who's giving? It's not please. The subject has to be a noun or a pronoun. Please is not a noun or a pronoun. Please isn't doing the giving. Please isn't a person giving. So the subject here is understood you. You give. And you is a pronoun. All right, so now we have our subject, you, and our predicate, give. Give is an action verb, so if you have an action verb, you might have a direct or indirect object. You won't always, but you might. So let's see if we have a direct object. Give what? Give phone. So phone is a direct object. It's a noun. Okay, so if we have a direct object, we can have an indirect object. Again, we won't always, but we can. So you say, please give phone to whom? To her. So remember, our indirect object, we diagram just like a prepositional phrase, but without the preposition, because it is essentially like saying, please give the phone to her, but the to isn't there. So it's an indirect object, and her is a pronoun. So now we have you give her phone. So now we can add our modifiers. The phone, so the is an adjective. And then we have please. Please is always an adverb. It's modifying give. So now let's look at this. Please give her the phone. All right, there is our diagrammed sentence. So go ahead and correct anything that you missed there. And if there's something that you don't understand, make sure you ask me about it on Friday. If you miss some because you're just not thinking through the process, remember, first find any prepositional phrases, then the predicate, then the subject. If you have an action verb, look for a direct or indirect object. If you have a linking verb, you're going to have a predicate nominative or predicate adjective, and then put in your modifiers. Okay, now let's review sit, set, rise, raise, and lie, lay. You should have your notes called troublesome verbs, and they should be in the grammar notes section. You should keep them in the grammar notes section of your binder. Of course, you might have taken them out for this, but you need to make sure you put them back because you'll be referring to this quite a bit. So remember that the verb lie, present tense verb of the present tense form is lie, and it means to rest or recline. Not to lie like to tell a lie. That's a different verb. But the lie that means to rest or recline. The present tense is lie. The past tense is lay. And remember how we talked about the past participle, where you use has, have, or had with it, is lain. And that word was new to a lot of you. So let's conjugate the verb lie. Right now I lie in bed. Yesterday I lay in bed. I have lain in bed, or he has lain in bed, or he had lain in bed. And we're talking about the differences between have, has, and had in terms of tense later. But for right now, just know that the past participle is the form you use have, has, or had with. So if you hear somebody say, go lay down, you know that's not correct. It should be go lie down. Lay is the past tense of lie. Yesterday I lay down. I have lain down. Now the verb lay, where lay is the present tense, has a completely different meaning. Lay means to put or place. Lay the book down. Lay the baby down. So with lay, the subject of the sentence is putting or placing something. The past tense of lay is laid, and the past participle is also laid. So right now, I lay the book down. Yesterday, I laid the book down. I have laid the book down. And then remember, we talked about sit. I don't think any of you really have any problems with this. Right now, I sit in the chair. Yesterday, I sat in the chair. I have sat in the chair. And then set. So you can't say sit down in that chair because it's sit that means to rest in an upright position. Set means to put or place something, just like lay does. Set that book down. Set that pencil down. So present is set. Past is set. And past participle, the have, has, or had, set. And then rise means to go up or increase in height. The balloon will rise through the air. The balloon rose through the air. Past is rose, and the past participle is has, have, or had risen. The balloon had risen. And then raise means to cause to rise. Raise the blinds. Right now I raise the blinds. Yesterday I raised the blinds. I have raised the blinds. So you probably don't get those confused too much, but I would guess that the one that you might be misusing is lie. Right now I lie in bed. Yesterday I lay in bed. I have lain in bed. You don't say I have laid in bed. To use have laid, you need to be putting or placing. You never use laid at all when it comes to lying down, to resting or reclining. Laid is not a verb you use to mean to rest or recline in any form. Right now I lie in bed. Yesterday I lay in bed. I have lain in bed. Laid is the past tense of the verb lay, which means to put or place. To put or place. Right now I lay the book down. Yesterday I laid the book down. I have laid the book down. All right, so let's go ahead and look at your homework sheet. We're going to do some of these together, and then we're going to pause the video, and you're going to do the rest, and then you'll come back and check it. So identify the correct verb of the two given in parentheses in each of the following sentences. Example, the bricklayer rose or raised from the patio floor and dusted himself off. All right, was he raising something? No, he's moving up. So he rose is the correct one there. Let's look at the next one. These rocks have lain here for centuries or laid here for centuries. All right, well, are the rocks putting or placing something? No, then the rocks haven't laid. All right, they're not putting or placing. They are resting or reclining. The rocks have lain. Have lain. here for centuries. Let's look at the next one. Please sit or set there until your name is called. Sit. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and complete this paper and then come back and check it. Okay, so you've completed this worksheet and now we're going to check it together. The nurse blanked her cool hand on the sick child's brow. The nurse laid, put or placed her hand, laid. The horses are lying in the pasture or laying in the pasture? The horses are laying in the, oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. The horses are lying in the pasture. The horses are lying in the pasture. See, I just slipped up right there too. The horses aren't laying. For the horses to be laying, they are putting or placing something. They are lying. They are resting or reclining. The senator and her advisors had sat or had set around the huge conference table. The senator and her advisors had sat. They're not putting or placing anything. They're resting in an upright position. Number 6. After the picnic, everyone lay on blankets to rest in the shade of the oak tree, or everyone laid? Is everyone putting something down, or is everyone resting or reclining? Everyone's resting and reclining. Everyone lay. Past tense of lie is lay. Everyone lies down would be the present tense. Everyone lay down would be the past tense. Okay, smoke rose or raised from the chimney? Smoke rose. The farmhands sat or set their lunch boxes under a tree. The farmhands set their lunch boxes. They put or place. Have you been sitting or setting there all afternoon? Have you been sitting all afternoon? The sun has already risen or has already raised. Raised is the past tense of raise, meaning to cause something to rise. The sun isn't causing something to rise, the sun is rising. So the sun has already risen. Number 11, why has the stage manager rose the curtains before the second act has begun, or raised? Why has the stage manager raised the curtains? Number 12, a gust of hot air caused the enormous balloon to rise out of sight of the spectators. Number 13, be sure to lie or lay these window panes down carefully. Be sure to lay them down, to put or place. Number 14, when the queen enters, each guest should rise or raise from his or her chair. Each guest should rise. Number 15, who sat or set the glasses on my chair? Number 15 is set, to put or place, set. Number 16, lie or lay down, the trainer sharply ordered the puppy, but the puppy didn't obey him. And it is lie down. In the present tense, lay means to put or place. So it's lie down. So the word lay is probably one of the things that's going to be the most confusing, because lay has two uses. Lay is the past tense of lie, meaning to rest or recline. So when used in the past tense, if you're using lay, you have to be meaning to rest or recline. Past tense of lie. So anytime you use lay, if you're meaning it to rest or recline, it has to be in the past tense. And then lay is the present tense of the present tense verb, meaning to put or place. To put or place. So lay appears twice. Lay appears as the past tense of the verb lie, or the present tense of the verb meaning to put or place. So never use lay, meaning to rest or recline, unless it's in the past. Yesterday, I lay in bed. Right now, I lie in bed. Yesterday, I lay in bed. If you're meaning lay, meaning to rest or recline, you may only use it in the past tense. All right, so that I know can be confusing, but we'll practice it and we'll get it. All right, number 17. If we had a pulley, we could rise or raise that stone. Raise, meaning to cause to rise. Just sit or set those green beans by the sink. I'll get to them in a minute. Just set. Number 19, Mom and Aunt Opal must have been lying or laying tile in the kitchen all night. They are laying tile, putting or placing. You rise or raise the garage door and I'll bring the bikes in out of the rain. Raise. You raise the garage door. Okay, so make any corrections that you need to make. Maybe make yourself a note of any of these that you have any questions about so that you can ask in class. And then the rest of your homework for grammar is the editing exercise, and you will be looking for errors with these verbs. While these are principal part errors, I specified on the editing exercise incorrect use of rise, raise, sit, set, lie, and lay. So if you see an error with one of those verbs, choose that number for the error rather than wrong principal part. Okay, thank you.